So it's January, that time of year where the air outside is either so bitingly frigid that it cracks the skin on your hands open like a fortune cookie, or is briefly lukewarm enough to melt a little bit of the snow and trick you into thinking that spring might come early this year, only for a cold front to swoop in and turn all that evaporated water into a blindsiding blizzard. So this weekend I decided to escape the topsy-turvy weather and hunker down with an Oscar-nominated film I hadn't seen yet. One that would take my mind off the climate outside and perhaps warm my heart in the process. Now, based on the trailers that I'd seen, the new Naomi Watts Ewan McGregor film The Impossible seemed like it would do the trick. Now, granted, it is the story of two parents who take their 3 children to a resort in Thailand for Christmas in 2004, only to be swept away and separated by a massive tsunami. But the trailer indicated right away that every member of the family survives the ordeal, and made the movie seem like kind of a typical borderline cheesy inspirational story of hope, love, and survival. This is what I expected when I sat down to view the film. Now, before I launch into my review, let me tell you a little bit something about me and my habits when I go out to see a movie. I am a psychopathic audience member. When I go to the movies, I want conditions to be perfect for me to watch a film. I'm very easily bothered by little distraction. For instance, when I sat down to watch this movie, there were 2 girls sitting behind me who reeked of cigarette smoke. There were also 2 glowing green exit signs in my peripheral vision, which normally would drive me crazy. And to top it all off, when the movie started, I noticed this big brown splotch right in the middle of the screen. Now, there's this old saying, and I don't know who it's by, it refers to the theater, that says that true star power is when a cat walks onto the stage and nobody notices because the performance is so powerful. Well, that is exactly the kind of experience that I had with The Impossible. Not one of these little things bothered me the entire film. This was an anomaly of sorts. And normally this kind of an anomaly would render me giddy and excited. Unfortunately, while The Impossible is maybe the most effective movie I have ever seen in my entire life, it was also, without a doubt, the absolute most emotionally draining and exhausting experience I have ever had in a cinema. Hope, love, and inspiration suddenly turned into just like panic and terror when that wall of water comes and hits this resort. I never imagined that the extent of this sequence would just grab my heart and just squeeze it relentlessly for the entire, I don't know, 10, 15, it felt like an hour. I sat there the entire duration of that scene, holding my girlfriend's hand, just squeezing it to death, thinking, I want this to be over, I want this to be over, I want this to be over, I want this to be over. And finally, the scene ends, and things don't get any better. I have never seen pain displayed like this in a movie, and I have seen a lot of movies. Before going into the movie, Ariel told me, you better be prepared because I'm gonna cry throughout this whole thing. And I was all like, yeah, baby, you just nestle into my shoulder here and you'll be all set. But then all of a sudden, in the middle of the movie, I find myself just bawling like a baby, shaking, shuddering, shielding my eyes. I literally had to take bathroom breaks when I didn't have to go to the bathroom just because I needed a breather. And when I was gone, I didn't want to come back, but I couldn't leave her alone in the theater. But now that's not to say it's not a great movie. It really is. I mean, I guess I have to include it in the top 10 movies of the year for me. Because again, if a movie impacts me that much, the filmmaker surely did something right. On the drive home, I had to pull over and call my family to make sure everybody was okay. I was a mess. I was a lunatic. I cannot recommend this movie in the sense that I can't say, hey, go out and see this movie. You're gonna love it. But at the same time, I have to recommend this movie because it's one of the most powerful experiences I've ever had in a movie theater in my entire life. So see it, don't see it. It's no skin off my nose. But if you plan on seeing The Impossible, just know what you're going in for. And bring somebody that you can clutch onto for dear life.